Philadelphia Eagles fans, good morning NFL fans, to week 4 of the 2018 football season. Well, this week, our Philadelphia Eagles at 2-1 traveled down to Tennessee to play the 2-1 Tennessee Titans. We're a little banged up, coming off a win, it cost us a little bit, but we also brought back what at the time was an MVP candidate, Carson Wentz, and hopefully he can get a little sharper and look a little better against Tennessee and bring home another win. So we further our case for getting back to the postseason, do what we need to do there. Now last week, yeah, I do kind of wish I would have made a at the game video, but if you want to know what it was like being at the Colts game that I was at, great section, I think we were in 242, great section. It was almost the same as the Atlanta game. Of course, there's a lot of hype, but this time for a different reason. Before, in the Atlanta game, there's a hype because everybody got all psyched up because we were displaying the banner and celebrating the Super Bowl 52 victory. This time, it's to celebrate more of what our future looks like this year moving forward. We welcome back Carson Wentz, of course, with his knee issue. And then we played another close game that came down to the end, kind of like in the Atlanta game, the last couple seconds, last couple plays, we pulled out a close victory. Some things to clean up. I think it was an understood thing that Carson Wentz was going to be a little rusty. Made some mistakes with holding the ball and fumbling it, giving it over to the other team deep in the territory. The defense overall held. We didn't get beat with crazy big plays like we did the week prior against Deshaun Jackson. T.Y. Hilton, yeah, the guy is good. The guy's really good and really fast, but he didn't burn us the same way it's like we learned. But in the process, we actually lost by the cloud for the season, I believe. I mean, Doug Peterson, of course, didn't say specifically losing him for the season, but if you look at it, not good. Also, significant, Darren Sproles did not play again. And Jay Ajayi, see him wrapping everything up, doesn't look good. As far as health-wise, when he is in the game, he does pretty decent. But as far as health-wise, the long-term future doesn't look good. We featured a little bit more with our tight ends. Dallas Goedert, of course, getting a first touchdown reception in the regular season. That's a positive with Carson Wentz coming in. And I think Carson Wentz kind of goes to his tight ends a little bit more than Nick Foles. So we get to see the development of that. Wendell Smallwood is actually running a lot better than expected, or, I mean, I didn't expect much from him from the beginning of the season because of our lineup, like Jay Ajayi and Corey Clement and Darren Sproles. But with injuries to all those guys, he's finding his role being expanded. And it is a little bit of a concern of mine of the defense. The defense not necessarily getting to the quarterback as we are used to, because, I mean, look, we still have Tim Jernigan out. But it's almost like we're looking for that rotation right now. Bennett, Halil Nada, along with Fletcher Cox and Chris Long and Brandon Graham. Not necessarily getting at the quarterback the same way that we did last year yet. We need to get a little more healthy and need to figure out our scheme and where people are placed. And it's going to get interesting this week. Because I know Andrew Luck had like a 33-yard run. I didn't even see that mess happening. I mean, he's not as immobile as like a Peyton Manning, but I wouldn't call him a very mobile quarterback. And this week, we're playing Tennessee. Now, Tennessee has been very interesting this season because they're 2-1. Like, let's put facts are facts. You can say what you want, and they haven't scored a crazy amount of points, but they're 2-1. They just came off a victory against Jacksonville, which Jacksonville is a really good team that's actually healthy, which means Tennessee, which is not healthy, beating Jacksonville, which is healthy for the most part. Fournette has his issues. That's significant because you have a new coach with Vrabel. I mean, that's a huge upgrade from last year that they won a playoff game with significantly less offensive skill play calling wise. Now what Vrabel is in, and he's bouncing between Mariota and Blaine Gabbert, and he's still 2-1, and he beat the division leaders from last year. That's something to think about. But as you know, the big story for what we're facing is Blaine Gabbert is now in concussion protocol. He is not expected to play whatsoever. And now it's back on Mariota, which he's not 100%. I mean, a guy with his throwing hand can't feel the fourth and fifth finger. He has to wear a glove because of it, and that's not natural for him. He doesn't like wearing that. So should we be able to take advantage of that? Yeah, I think so. But can we necessarily depend on that and just stack against the run? I don't think so. I don't. I think what we got to do is keep it real. I mean, yeah, I would like to stack against the run, and I think that's a smart deal. I think you also have to really consider Mariota running. I mean, we almost wanted to draft this guy. The guy can run. I mean, the guy burned Jacksonville for what, for 51 yards rushing? That reminds us of like Randall Cunningham, you know? Outside of that, I mean, they don't have a crazy amount of weapons per se. But they've proven it. They find a way to win. And on defense, I've been watching their team. They got a pretty aggressive defense. They really do. And Carson Wentz isn't 100% now. He played a lot better. I'll tell you what, being in the stands, every time he started running, everybody was like, ah! Like we're one hit away from Carson Wentz being out for the season, like hit to his knee or something. That sucks. And he's still running the ball, which makes everybody just like pucker up. So the defense is going to get after Carson just as much as we think. We're going to try to get after Mariota and smush down on him running and them running. So I can easily see what Tennessee's game plan is. Tennessee's game plan is going to be to slow down that crazy rush right there with screen passes, and also looking at Corey Davis. Quick passes out, short passes that are going to be more accurate, because otherwise he's just going to have to chuck it up deep. And right now our secondary is a little banged up. I told you, Ryland McLeod is out. I expect for the rest of the season, so you're going to have to bring in Graham off the bench. Or Hall, but I think it's going to be Graham. I think overall, the rest of our secondary has been pretty decent, but then you have to worry about our front four and our linebackers. How are we going to match up against Mariota and the running game? That's huge. Our offense might get back Alshon Jeffrey this week. With the expanded role of our tight ends, with what Carson Wentz likes to go to, potentially getting Alshon Jeffrey back, which changes the dynamic of who's on the outside and what they have to guard against. I see us going deep a couple times, and hopefully us winning now with the big play. Jay Ajayi, to me, they say it's questionable. The dude has like a fractured back. I don't think that means well for the rest of the season for him, and I don't think that means well for us seeing him in an Eagles uniform next year. What I see is an expanded role for Wendell Smallwood. For all you fantasy guys out there, I don't personally play fantasy because I never want to have a reason to root against the Eagles or root for anybody in the NFC East or something. But for you fantasy guys out there, I will look at Wendell Smallwood because I think he's going to have an expanded role and he's going to continue doing well because he's fighting for a job not just of this year, but looking to replace a guy like Jay Ajayi with Corey Clement and him for next year. And he gets an audition, I think, for the rest of the season. So I think he's going to run really hard, and I see that he's going to do well. I really do. And then special teams, I normally don't talk about special teams, but special teams this week is going to be huge because look at last week. Last week, Tennessee won 9-6 with just field goals because that's what they needed to generate, and then they played tough defense. If we're going to win this game, we need to hit our long field goals. Jake Elliott, you're in focus this week because you need to hit all your field goals, close ones and far ones away. We need to capitalize on absolutely everything. And of course, the obvious. I'm not going to just go into it, but the obvious. We got to take care of the football. Carson, you can't have those turnovers whatsoever. You can't be holding the ball like a loaf of bread and allow for their defense to be opportunistic and calls for you to fumble. You got to take care of the ball. And that's really what we got to do. A lot of people traveling out in Tennessee. My brother's traveling down there. I wish I could go with them, but I can't afford that like that, especially now. So I am looking forward to even hearing the Eagles chant while I'm on TV, watching on TV, And I'm looking for a close game. I really am. I'm looking for big plays, deep plays. The defense to get Marcus Mariota, for our Eagles to pull out a close victory against Tennessee and to go 3-1 in the NFC East. So this week, we go down to Tennessee, a little banged up just like them. Yeah, they have issues at tackle. They have issues at quarterback. They have issues at corner. They're making no excuses, and they're 2-1. We're 2-1 as well. We have issues at safety. We have issues at running back. And our quarterback has issues as well. But one thing we need to do, just like we did last year, is make no excuses. Great teams find a way to win. And if we're going to be great, not just good, not just a fluke for one season, but if we're going to be great, we need to game plan, we need to think, and we need to play like a winner, which means we do whatever we need to do every single week to find a way to win and worry about the future when it comes to us. So let's do this. Let's continue to lead the NFC East. Let's continue to lead like a champion. And let's go down to Tennessee and come home with a win. Let's go Birds, baby. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat Tennessee!